This is a removal of contingency form. Now, this is often used by a buyer when their contingency period has lapsed, and the buyer is going to submit this form. They're going to put in the property address, they're going to put in their name, the seller's name, and then which contingency is the buyer removing. Loan, appraisal, inspection, buyer contingency to sell, and there's even a reference of that form number 114. That was used with the purchase contract, but that can be removed here. There are two boxes where you can check other and write whatever other random contingency could have been added to a purchase contract. Or number 2, check this box, buyer removes all contingencies related to this transaction. Typically this happens on day 21, just generally speaking based on the default verbiage in the purchase agreement. You can check that box, buyer to remove all contingencies. And then this is when the buyer's deposit is going to become non-refundable, and they're jumping into this transaction both feet ahead. And so this is the point of no return, basically. That's what I'm saying. You'll print the name here, sign right there. And there's actually a section here if there's a seller contingency. So you could use the same form, but for the seller. Obviously, the seller removes contingencies far less. It's almost a rare occurrence, but it happens. But if a seller has a contingency, namely that the seller has a contingency to find a replacement property, and the seller can remove this here on the same form. Or if there was another seller contingency, they can check this box and remove it here. And this is where the seller would sign. This doesn't need to be signed by both parties because only one party is removing contingencies. Likely the buyer, but maybe the seller down here in section 2. Either way, only that party is going to sign. So if the buyer is going to remove contingencies, the seller does not fill this out. Now the seller should initial, and that's simply just a formal acknowledgement, but it's not necessary. The form is in effect once one party removes contingencies and signs the document and delivers to the other party. And that is how you remove contingencies.